Ryan Walker's hands were rough with calluses, the kind that told stories of years bent over lumber, carving wood into shapes that would outlive him. His workshop smelled of pine and cedar, of sawdust that clung to his hair and boots like an old friend. For Ryan, carpentry wasn't just a job, it was his identity, his pride, the legacy passed down by a father who died broke but proud. But for Melissa, his wife, sawdust wasn't legacy. It was failure. She stood in their modest dining room that evening, her perfume sharp, her blouse pressed, as though she were heading to dinner with someone else. A stack of divorce papers sat before her, crisp and final. Ryan had rushed home minutes earlier, his wallet heavy with a miracle he hadn't yet shared. The folded slip of a lottery ticket worth $70 million. He had imagined telling her with trembling hands. Imagined her laughter turning to disbelief. Imagined the kiss, the tears of joy. Instead, Melissa shoved the papers into his chest. "Sign them, Ryan," she said coldly. "I'm done living like this." His breath hitched. "Melissa, do you know what I came home to tell you?" She sneered. "That you picked up another odd job? That you'll keep promising me things you'll never give me? I don't care. Cole can give me what you can't." The name was a dagger. Cole, the man Ryan had suspected, the shadow that explained late nights and secretive smiles. Melissa's words poured like acid. "You'll never be more than a poor carpenter. I'm not wasting another year in sawdust and scraps." "You're not a real man, Ryan. You're a dreamer with splinters in your hands." The ticket nearly slipped from his grip. The house he had dreamed of building for her, the future he wanted to carve with his hands, it all shattered in that moment. She didn't even glance at the miracle he carried. She stormed out, heels clattering against the wooden floor he had laid by hand, leaving only the echo of her perfume and the sting of her betrayal. Ryan stood in silence, staring at the divorce papers on the table he had built for her, the lottery ticket pressed to his thigh. His chest burned, but his jaw set like oak. "You'll regret this, Melissa," he whispered into the empty room. "One day you'll beg me, and I'll decide if you're worth listening to." That night, he slid the winning ticket into the cedar jewelry box he had once carved for her, a gift she had mocked as cheap. The irony burned. That box would now hold his future. The next morning, when the lottery office confirmed the win, Ryan felt no joy, only a steady fire. He didn't chase Melissa. He didn't call her back. She had made her choice, and he would make his. The payout came within weeks, $70 million after taxes. The kind of money Ryan once thought existed only in fairy tales. But he didn't waste it on flashy cars or sprawling mansions. He invested in himself. The old workshop was gutted, expanded, and rebuilt into something extraordinary. Shipments of mahogany, walnut, and cherry filled the space, woods he had once only dreamed of touching. He hired skilled craftsmen, men who respected his vision, and together they worked from dawn to dusk. Ryan's sketches became reality. Sleek desks polished to perfection, dining sets with sweeping lines, chairs that felt like heirlooms. Each bore a small brass plate, Walker Designs. At first, showroom owners were skeptical. Who wanted furniture from a carpenter no one had heard of? But the work spoke louder than sales pitches. Within 48 hours of his first showroom display, every piece sold. Orders poured in. Magazines started whispering about the mysterious new name in luxury furniture. Meanwhile, Melissa was thriving, or so she pretended. She sat at glittering restaurants, draped over Cole's arm, mocking Ryan in front of her friends. "Poor thing probably still thinks carving chairs makes him a man," she scoffed. "I carried that loser for years." Her friends laughed, but behind the laughter, whispers grew. Walker Designs was spreading. A mahogany desk went viral online, captioned, "Luxury redefined by Walker." Melissa's wine glass trembled when she saw it. Coincidence, she told herself. It couldn't be Ryan, but the truth gnawed at her. Months rolled into a year. Walker Designs became a brand. Hotels ordered entire collections. Corporate offices signed contracts. A glossy magazine crowned Ryan the new furniture king. His face appeared in spreads, dressed in a simple button-down, his eyes calm, his jaw set. Melissa's world, meanwhile, began to unravel. Cole's credit cards declined at restaurants. Bills piled up. His late nights reeked of perfume that wasn't hers. When she asked about their future, his laugh was cruel. "Marriage with you? Don't kid yourself. You're just baggage. At least your carpenter worked." The words hit her harder than any slap. Within months, Cole cast her out, literally throwing her designer handbag into the hallway and locking the door behind her. Neighbors peeked from their doors as Melissa's mascara streaked down her cheeks. She had traded Ryan for this, for nothing. Homeless. Humiliated, she bounced between friends' couches until even their sympathy dried up. Finally, she found herself in a diner uniform, waiting tables for coins, her feet blistered, her pride gone. One evening, a customer left behind a magazine. On its cover, Ryan Walker, beside a polished oak desk. Headlines screamed, "From Carpenter to King, the 70-meter man behind Walker Designs." Melissa sank into a booth, hands trembling. Tears blurring the page. The man she had mocked, betrayed, abandoned, was now everything she had ever wanted, and she had nothing. 2 years had passed since Melissa walked out. Ryan's empire was no longer just furniture. It was a movement. Walker Designs stood for elegance, power, legacy. CEOs, celebrities, and even royalty ordered his work. His name was etched into skyscraper lobbies and penthouse suites. But with success came silence in his personal life. Ryan dated, yes, but no one lingered. Trust was fragile, love even more so. In quiet moments, he still thought of Melissa, not with longing, but with a scar's dull ache. Then one evening, at the grand opening of Walker's flagship showroom in Manhattan, the ghost of his past returned. He stood under chandeliers that reflected in polished oak floors, reporters snapping pictures, champagne flutes clinking. That's when he saw her, Melissa. Her dress was elegant but borrowed. Her jewelry sparkled but cheap. The confident smile she once wore had been replaced by a tremble at the corners of her mouth. She hovered near the back of the crowd, clutching her purse like a shield, her eyes locked on him. Their gazes met. For a second, the world froze. Then she approached, each step hesitant, fragile, desperate. "Ryan," she whispered, as though his name might shatter in the air. He didn't flinch. His eyes were steady, unreadable. "Melissa." Tears filled her eyes instantly. I made a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life." He tilted his head, voice calm but sharp. "Mistake? You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. Remember?" People glanced curiously, but Ryan led her aside, away from the crowd, into a quiet corner by a walnut display. Melissa's words spilled like broken glass. "Cole, he left me. He used me. I thought I deserved better than you. But I was wrong. You were the best thing in my life, Ryan. I see that now. Please, forgive me. Take me back." Her hands reached for his, trembling, but he pulled away. "Take you back?" His voice carried no anger, only steel. "When I was broke, you called me worthless. When I built our life with my hands, you laughed at me. When I gave you loyalty, you gave me betrayal. And now that I've built an empire, you remember me?" Melissa sobbed openly, makeup streaking. "I don't care about the money, I swear, I just want you back." "I love you, Ryan." He studied her, the woman who had once been his world. But all he saw now was a stranger who had killed the man he used to be. "Melissa," he said quietly, "you don't love me. You love the man I've become. But that man was born from the pain you gave me. Without your betrayal, there would be no Walker Designs. In a way, I should thank you." Her knees buckled, and she sank onto the polished floor, clutching at his leg like a beggar. "Please, I'll do anything. Don't leave me like this." Ryan's security moved closer, but he lifted a hand, stopping them. He leaned down, voice low enough for only her to hear. "You left me for scraps, Melissa. Now you'll watch me feast." Then he stepped back, turning his back on her tears, her pleas echoing behind him. Cameras flashed as Ryan Walker walked forward, shoulders straight, eyes unyielding, the man who had risen from sawdust to an empire. Melissa tried everything after that night. Flowers at his office, letters begging forgiveness, even showing up at his mansion gates, drenched in rain, screaming his name. But Ryan never opened the door. One day she found herself sitting outside his headquarters, clutching a final letter. Inside, Ryan watched her from the top floor, the skyline behind him. His assistant asked softly, "Should I send her away?" Ryan's answer was firm. No need. She already sent herself away the day she chose him. And with that, he turned back to his empire, the hum of his success drowning out the ghost of the woman who once broke him. Melissa eventually faded into obscurity. A cautionary tale whispered among those who had witnessed Ryan's rise. She was the woman who traded gold for dust, love for lust, forever forgotten in the shadow of the man she had betrayed. As for Ryan, his life became the proof that sometimes the greatest revenge isn't anger or cruelty. its success, silent, undeniable, eternal. And every polished piece of furniture that bore the name Walker Designs carried with it a story of a poor carpenter betrayed, who carved his pain into an empire.